everyone, welcome back to my channel. What do you think about this nude lip I'm trying out? I got it from the Sephora collection. I'm gonna leave a link to it down below in case any of you guys like it and want to try it out. It's not sponsored, it's just me finally finding a dark-skinned black girl nude, and I want to share it with, you know, the rest of you as well. Anyway, let's hop into the season 8 episode 6 recap, which kicks off with Janelle finally admitting to being pregnant with the land. She admits to being pregnant after the police report services, you know, the one after the car crash that confirmed that she was pregnant. And she immediately starts bitching about the fact that after this news broke, everyone was more mad about the fact that she was pregnant again and not really concerned about her safety in the car crash. But being the out-of-touch airhead that she is, Janelle just does not understand why no one is happy for her being pregnant yet again by yet another person, whereas people seem to be happy for Chelsea. She's like, why is everyone happy for Chelsea and not me? Like, everyone's saying she did it the right way, but come on, we're on a show called Teen Mom. None of us did it right the first time. And it's like, yeah, none of you guys did it right the first time, but at least some of you guys raised your children properly. Am I right? And speaking of Chelsea, she heads over to the garage to tell Cole that she's thinking that she wants to just do the whole getting married legally on the same wedding day they had originally set, but wants to do the actual wedding a year later on their 1-year anniversary. They think it's awesome. I think it's tacky. Moving on. So now on to Leah. She finds out online that the school that the girls usually attend is probably not going to be open in time for the fall due to the flood that really took over their city. She really struggles to read that basic ass sentence, and then she basically tells her mom that she's thinking of asking Corey about letting the girls study in her district. And I'm like, girl, if that is where you studied, hell to the no. Now for the real drama. Over in Kail's world, it turns out that Javi had actually walked into her home pretty much unannounced and caught like a man in there. So she's pretty much off camera telling this to a producer, and little Isaac is like, I'm not okay, I'm not okay. And it was just such a sad, awkward, really delicate scene that I felt really guilty for even watching. And one of the most disturbing parts about this was the fact that she had like this strange random man in her home while her kids were there. Like, girl, like, is your divorce even filed at this point? Because that's just dirty and trifling. Then there was another repetitive scene about Chelsea and that like wedding being postponed, and then we come back to Kail's world. You guys, did anyone else feel smug as a rug when Kail called Joe begging him to hurry up over to her house? I mean, this is the same girl who tried to keep Joe away from his son Isaac by filing like this bullshit restraining order. She moved states away, tried to like convince Isaac that Javi was going to be his new dad, threw a huge fit when Joe moved like really close to her development and all that. She is now on the phone begging him for his help with the son that she tried to, you know, estrange him from. She's like, hurry over, like it got really bad. I was like, karma, bitch. And when Joe finally makes it over to Kail's house, there's an undisclosed brown bae helping her pack up her car, and they quickly exchange Isaac, and Isaac gets into Joe's car like crying, and it's like, did anyone else feel really uncomfortable by how exploited these poor children are? Like, these are real life events they're going through in front of all of us. Now, everyone's favorite greaseball, Nathan, looked high as a kite when hanging out with his friends. Like, all of them were laughing about the fact that news just broke that Janelle was officially a 3x3. And I was like, yeah, you can laugh at her, but you're like the number 2 out of the 3. So you're technically laughing at yourself, honey boo boo. He later criticizes the fact that she got knocked up so quickly by David, as if he didn't knock her up within a few months of knowing her. Like, pot, kettle, come on, get together. And the scene closes out with Nathan alluding to the fact that David may or may not be abusive to Janelle. In Corey's world, we find out that he and Miranda are not on board with moving the kids over to Leah's district because they want to keep the twins with the people that they've been going to school with all this time, which is perfectly understandable. And so now back in Kail's world, she still refuses to film after this big blow up fight that the cameras did not capture. The producers instead head over to a hotel that Javi's staying in with 2 of his friends, one of them being Peach, the other one being that fine ass Latino man. And so he pretty much says, listen, what happened was I asked Kail if I could drop off Lincoln. She told me she was like at Walmart doing errands, and so I just happened to, drive by her home and see her car there. So I was like, okay, I'll drop off Lincoln now. And so I got there, I knocked on the door, and I see like this guy, and Kail opens the door but won't let me in. And so I see this strange guy, and I'm like, no, I'm not dropping off my son off with some strange man in the house. What the hell is this? And then all hell broke loose. So both of Javi's friends then call Kail out for being a thotty while still married to him and treating him like shit, even though like he's been so nice to her and her son. And they're like, listen, girl, you're not even divorced. What the hell is going on? And you want this guy around your kids? You thought pocket. And then Javi finishes up the story by saying, okay, like when I was about to leave the house, Isaac really wanted to go with me and Kail refused to allow him to come with me. And then my friend Christina, this was inappropriate, you guys. My friend Christina was like, Isaac, come on, let's go. No, bitch, you don't tell this child to go with his stepfather when his mother is right there. Who the hell are you? And so Javi was like, Kail really flipped out at Christina at that point, and rightfully so. I wish a bitch would try me like that. You guys, Javi's friends were seriously milking this scene. After he told the story, they were like, you know what? If this is how she acts while you were around, I wonder how big of a hoe she was while you were deployed and no one could just pop up in on her. I was like, okay guys, let's air her out. So we get to see Janelle and Barbara get together a little bit later as she and David go show her and Jace the new land that Janelle bought, but we're gonna say they bought, you know, for shortness purposes. So Barbara was just not really feeling the land at first, but by the time the scene ends, she was feeling it. And guys, Janelle was stupid enough to wear like the tightest dress ever, while at the same time claiming that she doesn't want her mom to know she's pregnant and stuff. So Barbara's like, you know, Janelle, is there anything you want to tell me? You know, nudge, nudge, bump, bump. And Janelle's like, no, there's nothing I want to discuss. And it's like, girl, if you don't want to talk about this, wear a damn hoodie, because you look stupid as hell walking around with this big baby bump talking about, oh, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to like tell my mom I'm pregnant. You literally just did with that dress alone. You don't have to say it with your mouth. I could see you're pregnant, girl. Now over in South Dakota, Aubrey's playing a little t-ball game and her dad, Adam, actually shows up. So producer goes over to talk to him about like why he split last time they needed to film scenes and stuff, and like what they're gonna do for future scenes. And Adam like is just a big ass bitch to her in his teen mom funded clothes, accessories, and tattoos. And she was like, Adam, why do you set yourself up to look like a dick? And of course, Adam blames it all on her instead of taking the blame for like his own representation. And he just like shuts her down as his little receipt hawk blows in the wind. Over at Joe and V's house, Isaac tells them why he was crying in the car and what really happened in that fight with Kail and Javi. So he pretty much just says like there was a big fight going on over there. He's sad that Kail won't let him ever go to Javi's house, and like he doesn't understand why he can't go when his brother Lincoln can go. And Joe's heart was obviously breaking for his son, and he was like, listen, Isaac, I promise Javi is going to stay in your life. You're going to get to see him again. You're going to get to go over there. Don't you worry about it. Daddy's going to make sure you're going to get to. And I was like, oh, Joe, you're such a good dad to this baby. Like, good for you. So now the episode is coming to an end, you guys, and like we get to officially see when Janelle stupidly puts David's name as a co-owner of this land that she's buying with her money. I feel so sad for her. Janelle, like as crazy as she is towards her kids and just like, you know, in general, like she does have a good heart when it comes to the men that she dates, and unfortunately she only attracts like users and abusive like POS men. And it's like, your heart is too good for these people, Janelle. Like, why did you put his name on the deed? This is not going to end well at all. It's going to be like a really, really painful breakup, and I'm just not looking forward to it at all, one bit. And then later on, Barbara takes Jace out for some sweet tea, and while Jace is picking a little something out of the menu, she talks to a producer about how she could like obviously tell that Janelle's pregnant. And you guys, for the second time this episode, it's alluded to that David may be abusing Janelle, and it's just so sad to hear. Barbara was like, listen, like he's moving her away from her friends and her family. She barely speaks to anyone these days. Like, I am, you know, nervous for what's to come. And then later on, she gets back over to the table with Jace to just sit and snack a little bit, and Jace just brings up court. He was like, so when are we going to court, or something like that? Like, what do you want me to do? Where am I going to stay while we're in court? And I was like, you guys, this is what happens when you speak about all the serious stuff in front of this, like, you know, young baby. Like, this poor thing has grown up way too fast, seen way too much, heard way too much, and like it was so heartbreaking. Anyway, you guys, that's my recap of the season 8 episode 6 of Teen Mom 2. As usual, I'm more excited to hear what you have to say about the episode. Leave all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below and we'll chat. You can also like this video, subscribe for more, feel free to share it with your friends as well, and follow me across social media where I do love chatting with you. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and the next episode recap is coming up soon. See you next time.